Hi, this is John, medico and published author, and I've been helping people with food and their health for almost 30 years. If you haven't stepped outside for the last 5 years, then you may not know that we're in the grip of an obesity epidemic. Half the population is overweight and becoming diabetic, whilst the other half is about to join them. Now I've helped thousands of people avoid these problems with some simple information that I'd like to share with you. But before we get going, I want you to know this is not one of those boring 45-minute long presentations that tells you pretty much nothing and wants to sell you something at the end. Oh, I do have something if you're interested, but I'll share this knowledge with you for free. Just sit back and learn about food. Simple, no obligation. I want you to understand what I and my patients have known for the last 20 years. And this knowledge will help you change the way you think about food and help you regain control over your eating and your health. So if you're happy with that, we'll get started. First, I'll tell you a little about myself. I've been a medical practitioner since the late 80s. I specialise in alternate medicine, and in particular preventative medicine. And I was able to share this knowledge with my patients and help scores of people with their weight, their diabetes, cholesterol, and heart disease. It became so successful I wrote books, and those books sold 500,000 copies in Australia, and stayed in print right up until today. The technique is very simple and easy to do. Actually, it becomes quite enjoyable, not worrying about your weight and food. Now, I need to tell you that I'm not one of those people who've never had a weight problem. And I'm not going to tell you that being a raw food vegetarian is the only way. I don't count calories, and I don't have to restrict my intake of food. I love to eat, and I eat plenty of food, meat and eggs and cheese, and plenty of veggies. I probably eat too much, to be honest. But at age 50, I don't have a weight problem, I'm not diabetic, my blood pressure is normal, and my cholesterol is excellent. I walk a lot, but beyond that, I'm just like you. The difference is I know how to eat. So let's get started. How many times do you eat? 3 times a day? Every day of your life? So you must be an expert on food. Anything you do 3 times a day for an entire lifetime would make you an expert. Actually, what you become is an expert on eating. It may surprise you to know that we, and by we I mean the medical doctors and researchers of this world, actually know very little about food. We can put a man on the moon, but we're not really sure why eating an orange is good for you. So let's take a look at this. We've all seen this and understand the meaning. Over millions of years we evolved from monkeys. So what? But there is something you're not seeing. And neither did I until I started to understand evolution. Anatomically, we have changed very little. And by anatomically, I'm referring to our bodies. Now, obviously, there is a vast difference between the man on the right and the monkey on the left. Let's face it, if they went out for a coffee together, it would probably have ended badly. But actually, there is little change in our bodies over the course of several million years. We are very similar: 2 eyes, legs, hands and feet, and so on. So why is this important? Because we haven't changed that much, and evolution is one of the biggest factors deciding our survival as a species. It all came down to one thing: food. What we ate and how we ate has shaped us into what we are today, but we have changed very little. What has evolution done for us? It's made us really good at finding food. Now this may seem a little obvious, but let me put this into context for you. Our primitive man is searching for food, and he comes across a pile of mammoth dung, and he thinks to himself, I wonder if I can eat this. So the first thing he does is he smells the dung, exactly like we would do if we're not sure about something. We like to smell it first to check it. At the moment he smells it, his nose tells him if it's edible or not. Actually, we know now it does a chemical analysis and can detect nutrients at a molecular level. And this information is sent to the brain as an electrical signal, and our friend thinks, doesn't smell good. But he's pretty hungry, so he thinks, okay, I'm going to taste it. And so he tastes it, and guess what? It tastes the same as it looks. So he thinks, yep, I'm not that hungry. And he keeps searching for food. So what happens when he comes across honey? First he smells it and thinks, this smells good. Then he tastes it and thinks, oh boy, this tastes excellent. And he sits down, gets stung by a few angry bees, and enjoys his honey. So this may seem a little silly, but remember, a few million years ago we weren't that bright, but our brains had already developed very powerful chemical signals to help us find food. And this, brain chemistry, is still helping us find food, but guess what? We've found it. It's taken us a few million years to perfect our food, but now that we have all the food we need, we can't turn this survival mechanism off. The primitive hunter in us has finally achieved its primary goal to perfection. We have hunted and gathered in great abundance the essential ingredients for our survival. We have crossed vast oceans to find it, fought wars for it, perfected ways of making it, have books dedicated to it, and now in every household we find cupboards and fridges full of it, letterboxes full of menus dedicated to it, and convenient high-speed stores that sell it, so we can get it anytime we want it. We like it because he likes it, and he likes it because buried away deep in his skull is the sophisticated mechanism responsible for our survival, telling us what to eat. So don't feel bad if you like junk food. It's actually this guy behind our food choices, but we can't switch him off. And now that we have all the food, we are dying as a species. Something for our survival is now actually killing us. So what is it that we're prepared to give up our health for? Fat and carbohydrates. So let's look at what we eat. Everything we eat is always a combination of fat and carbohydrate. Ham and cheese sandwich? The ham and cheese are the fat and the bread is the carbohydrate. Hamburger and fries? The hamburger and the oil on the fries are the fat, and the bun and the potato are the carbohydrate. Roast dinner? The meat is the fat, and the bread and potatoes are the carbohydrate. Lasagna? The meat and the cheese is the fat, and the pasta is the carbohydrate. Bacon and eggs? The bacon and eggs are fat, and the toast or potato are the carbohydrate. So why do we always combine fat with carbohydrate? Because if we didn't, we couldn't absorb the fat. The carbohydrate is a key to absorbing the fat. And remember, the body loves fat. Because there are heaps of nutrients in fat that some plant or animal has used a lot of energy to create. And when we come along and eat said plant or animal, we get all the energy for free. So it's pretty important for our inner caveman to get all this energy. So carbohydrate unlocks a hormone called insulin, and it's the insulin that allows the fat to be absorbed. Now, not all carbohydrate causes insulin to be released, but our bodies have worked that out already. Just go to your kitchen or open your lunch and you'll see what they are. Take a look at any processed food and you'll see that one or more of these are an ingredient. So what are they? Sugar, flour, rice, potato, bread, corn. There's a few others, but you get my point. Our bodies have known exactly which carbohydrate causes the insulin to be released, and now we find it in everything we eat. So how am I and my patients eating lots of food and not putting on weight and getting diabetes? Well, if you know how to eat and not cause insulin to be released, then you can't put on weight. You actually lose weight. But I'll save that for later. So we are hunter-gatherers to this very day. But we don't go out and hunt anymore because our food is right here in our refrigerators. So even while sitting there listening, there is a mechanism going back to our earliest beginning, constantly working in the background, thinking in the back of the mind, where is the next meal coming from and what's it going to be? Now, back in the caveman days, we didn't have processed food. Actually, we had very different food to eat. This is a wild carrot. And this is a wild potato compared with regular ones we find in the supermarket. Big difference, don't you think? Also, these foods didn't yield a lot of energy and required a lot of wandering around to find, and also a bit of effort to dig up. Animals, on the other hand, also required a bit of effort to catch, but when we did eventually catch one, they yielded a lot of energy and nutrition. Because when we ate an animal, we ate everything from the nose to the tail. So not only the macronutrients like the protein, but also the organs, brain and bone marrow. So were we meat eaters? The answer is yes. We started eating meat around about 2.5 million years ago. Should we still eat meat? The answer is also yes, because we have always had animals in our diet. So much, in fact, that there are certain things we only get from animal products that are essential for our health. How much did we eat? Well, that's a good question. Best guess is around 25% of the diet came from animals, and the rest came from seasonal fruits, nuts, berries, and seasonal root vegetables. But we also know that because these foods were seasonal, there were periods throughout the year when there was nothing to eat, like during winter, when we had nothing to eat except animal fat and animal protein. So there were a few months of the year for our Stone Age ancestors when they ate nothing but meat and fat, and this went on for millions of years. So no matter how you cut it, it's a simple fact about humans. Strangely enough, chimpanzees are actually the same in this respect. There's certain times of the year, usually the dry season, when they also eat animals for food. So we ate meat for a long time, and there were times we ate nothing but meat and fat to survive. But a funny thing happens when you just eat protein. Your body doesn't release insulin. And when that happens, we lose weight. Our blood pressure goes down, our blood sugar level stays the same, and cholesterol normalizes. But we don't want to eat just meat. So I worked out which carbohydrate to combine to keep insulin under control. And because I know how to do that, I enjoy perfect health. And so do my patients and the thousands of others who have read my books. Insulin is a key to many things. And I've been helping people to understand this for 20 years. If you want to get control of your health again, let me get involved with helping you. I will help you to get there. I guarantee it. So come on. Join me and thousands of others and learn how to eat properly. And enjoy your food. Let's go.